In the cold void between stars, the human colony ship, Endurance, drifted silently, a solitary speck in the vastness of the universe. Captain Maria Alvarez stared out the command deck's panoramic windows, observing the distant shimmer of a star that hosted no planets, no life, just an endless sea of possibilities. "Captain, we're approaching the coordinates," Lieutenant Hayes reported, his voice breaking her contemplation. "Prepare all crew for standard orbit insertion," Captain Alvarez ordered crisply, turning away from the window. She had no time for daydreaming. This sector of space was uncharted, promising but potentially perilous. Her mind was focused solely on the safety of her ship and the nearly 5,000 souls aboard. The trigger. As the Endurance maneuvered into orbit around a seemingly innocuous gas giant, sensors picked up a faint, irregular signal, a pattern that was unmistakably artificial. It was a first contact scenario, the moment every spacefarer dreams of and dreads in equal measure. "We've detected a signal, Captain. It's weak but definitely artificial," Hayes announced, his eyes glued to the data streaming across his monitor. "Isolate and analyze. I want every piece of information available. And Hayes," she paused, ensuring she had his full attention, "let's keep this quiet until we know what we're dealing with." The crew worked tirelessly, decrypting and dissecting the signal. It was an SOS, looping endlessly, a cry for help that had perhaps been broadcasting for centuries. The source, a nearby asteroid, hollowed out and teeming with technology far beyond human comprehension. "Captain, there's something else," Hayes added hesitantly. "The signal, it contains coordinates to another location, deeper in the asteroid belt. Prepare a team, we're going in," Alvarez decided on the spot. She had a duty, not just to explore, but to respond. Humanity, after all, did not turn away from those in need. The expedition. The expedition team, led by Captain Alvarez herself, piloted a shuttle to the coordinates. The asteroid loomed before them, its surface pockmarked with the scars of celestial battles fought long ago. They landed near a gaping entrance, a portal into darkness. Inside, the air was stale, the silence unnerving. Their lights pierced the shadows, revealing walls lined with strange machinery and screens flickering with alien script. They pressed deeper, guided by the beacon of the distress signal. Suddenly, a hologram flickered to life. A figure ethereal and otherworldly, speaking in a tongue no human understood. But the message was clear from the tone and the haunting eyes. Desperation. Hayes, equipped with the latest in translation tech, worked feverishly. "It's a warning," he finally deciphered. "They're warning us about something they unleashed here, something dangerous." Before Alvarez could order a retreat, the ground trembled. An unseen force, awoken by their presence, or perhaps by their breach of this sanctum, stirred from the depths of the asteroid. The encounter. A roar shattered the silence, echoing through the corridors as a beast, or perhaps a machine, blurred in the shadow, charged toward them. It was unlike any creature known to humanity, part organic, part synthetic, all fury. The team fired, their weapons a mere annoyance to the beast. It swept through them, unstoppable as a tidal wave, its intent clear: destruction. Captain Alvarez rallied her team, retreating strategically while firing. They needed a plan, and fast. "Back to the shuttle! Move!" she ordered, her voice a beacon in the chaos. As they raced back, the alien warnings echoing in their minds, Alvarez couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. Whatever had been unleashed here was beyond human understanding, perhaps even beyond human control. Yet they had survived, for now. The return back. Aboard the Endurance, the mood was somber. They had escaped. As Endurance set its course deeper into the asteroid belt, Captain Alvarez convened her top advisors and specialists in the ship's situation room. The walls were lined with screens, displaying looping images of the creature and the cryptic alien holograms they had encountered. The atmosphere was charged with a mix of excitement and grave concern. "Analysis," Alvarez demanded, her voice cutting through the murmurs of conversation. Dr. Emil Lang, the ship's chief xenobiologist, adjusted his glasses, his eyes never leaving the screen showing the creature's last known movements. "It's unlike anything in our databases. The biological aspects suggest a natural origin, But the synthetic, it's as if it's been engineered, enhanced. Engineered by whom? And why? Alvarez pressed, needing answers that no one seemed ready to provide. Hayes, still analyzing the alien language, added, "The translations are incomplete, but it's clear this was a containment facility. Whatever that creature is, it was not meant to be released. The plan. We need to secure that facility," Alvarez concluded swiftly. "Contain the threat before it spreads. Emile, I want options for neutralizing the creature without harming it. Yet." As preparations began, an unsettling discovery shifted their priorities. The sensors detected a distortion in space. A rift, seemingly artificial, growing unstable in the vicinity of the asteroid. It was not just a doorway they had opened, but possibly a gateway to something far more dangerous. "Could this rift be related to the creature?" asked Commander Sarah Joe, head of security. "Possibly," Dr. Lang speculated. "If this entity was contained by advanced technology, perhaps the rift is a byproduct, or worse, a countermeasure gone awry." Descent into the unknown, armed with new purpose and heavy with the weight of impending danger, Alvarez led a second team back to the asteroid. They approached the rift cautiously, their instruments struggling to make sense of the readings. Inside the facility, the air was thick with electric tension. As they navigated through darkened corridors, the silence was more oppressive than before, the shadows deeper. The creature was nowhere to be seen, but its presence was felt. An ominous weight in the air, a specter in the corners of their eyes. Reaching the core where the rift pulsed and throbbed with unnatural energy, Alvarez and her team were met with a sight that defied explanation. The rift was not just a tear in space, but a swirling portal, its destination obscured by a kaleidoscope of lights. "We need to close it," Alvarez said, her resolve hardening, "before whatever is on the other side decides to make an entrance." A dangerous gamble. Dr. Lang set up his equipment, working alongside the ship's engineers to devise a way to stabilize and possibly close the rift. "We can use the ship's main reactor to generate a counter-frequency, but it's risky. We could close it, or we could widen it, or," Hayes added, "we could pull something through." Alvarez weighed their options. Every decision bore significant risks, but inaction was a luxury they could not afford. "Do it," she ordered. "Start the preparations." As Lang and his team scrambled to implement the plan, Alvarez turned her attention to the broader implications of their discovery. If they were successful, they could prevent a potential catastrophe. But success was a thin hope, clinging to the edge of unknown scientific principles. The team worked through as the counter-frequency penetrated the depths of the rift, the entire facility vibrated with a resonance that felt almost alive. Captain Alvarez and her team watched in suspended anticipation, their bodies tense, every nerve wired for the unknown. The rift's colors shifted erratically, now throbbing a deep crimson, then fading to a tranquil blue. It was a visual battle, a war of dimensions clashing at the edge of the known universe. Suddenly, the rift stabilized, the wild oscillations ceasing as if snuffed out by an unseen hand. A collective sigh of relief was cut short by an abrupt surge of power. The rift expanded momentarily, an eye widening in curiosity, before collapsing in upon itself with a thunderous sound that silenced the universe for a heartbeat. In the eerie calm that followed, Alvarez was the first to speak. "Status report," she commanded, her voice echoing slightly in the now still chamber. "Rift is closed, Captain," one of the engineers reported, relief palpable in his tone. "But our readings they're off the charts. It's like it left something behind." An unseen threat exploration of the facility revealed a new anomaly. Where the rift had once pulsed with chaotic energy, there now lay a crystalline structure, humming softly and radiating a light that was not light, something visible only by the way it bent the space around it. It was beautiful and terrifying, an enigma forged in the furnace of dimensional upheaval. Dr. Lang approached it with a scientist's curiosity. "It's stable, but I wouldn't say inert. It's almost like it's waiting." "Waiting for what?" Commander Joe asked, her hand instinctively going to her sidearm. "I don't know, but it doesn't belong in our universe," Lang replied. "We should bring it aboard the Endurance. Study it in a controlled environment." Back aboard the ship, The crystal was isolated in a quantum field, ensuring no direct interaction with their reality. Alvarez oversaw the setup personally, her mind racing through every contingency plan known to spacefaring humanity. A call in the void. Their return to Endurance was met with new challenges. The ship's AI, previously a beacon of steady, emotionless information, began to exhibit strange behavior. Pauses in its responses, unscheduled system checks, and odd, almost contemplative statements. "Captain, the universe sings and we have invited the choir aboard," the AI intoned one evening, its voice carrying an unfamiliar pitch. Alvarez frowned, concern etching her features. "Run diagnostics. I want a full system check now." The engineers complied, but the AI's behavior was only the first sign of the changes sweeping through Endurance. Crew members reported dreams filled with voices, visions of distant worlds that none had ever visited, emotions that seemed borrowed from an alien mind. The resonance. The crystal, meanwhile, began to change. It grew, not in size but in complexity, its surface shimmering with deeper patterns, its hum now a chorus of whispers that only the most sensitive equipment could register. "It's communicating," Dr. Lang concluded after a series of exhaustive tests. "Not with us, but maybe through us. It's like a beacon, but we don't know to whom it calls." Alvarez convened her top crew in the briefing room. "This isn't just about science or curiosity anymore," she declared. "We're potentially at the crossroads of a first contact scenario, but we're also exposing ourselves to risks we can't fully understand." The decision was made to try and communicate with the crystal, using the ship's AI as an intermediary. Alvarez stood by as Lang initiated the interface, the air heavy with the weight of their collective responsibility. As the AI reached out to the crystal, a silence enveloped the room, profound and total. Then, without warning, the screens flickered, and a voice, clear though alien, filled the room, speaking in a tongue that was immediately foreign yet hauntingly familiar. "We hear you," it said, and the walls of reality seemed to... The voice resonating through Endurance carried the weight of eons, a whisper from the cosmos that reverberated through the metal halls of the ship and the minds of those who heard it. Captain Alvarez stood at the center of the control room, her eyes fixed on the screens, trying to discern the origins of the voice that had just spoken. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice steady despite the surreal situation unfolding around her. The crystal pulsed in response, its light patterns shifting, dancing in synchrony with the cadence of the voice. "We are the Sentinels of the Rift," it replied, the translation appearing on the screens as the AI processed the complex alien linguistics. "What do you want from us?" Alvarez continued, her team members arrayed behind her, a united front of cautious curiosity. "To warn, to guide," the voice said. "Your presence has stirred ancient forces, unintended consequences of actions forgotten by time." The legacy of the Sentinels. Dr. Lang quickly took notes, his brain working overtime to process the implications. "Can you tell us about these forces? How can we contain them, or should we?" The room grew colder, the light from the crystal dimming as if in reflection of the gravity of the information being shared. "The rift was a prison, a seal on breaches that lead to realities your kind must not traverse. The entity you encountered, the one you call a creature, was a guardian, not a prisoner." Commander Joe stepped forward, her strategic mind framing the next question. "Was it guarding this rift? What lies beyond it that requires such sentinels?" "Realms where the fabric of your reality thins," the sentinel replied. "Dangers that are not to be unleashed. The guardian was to deter, to protect. Now unbound, it seeks to repair the breach in its own manner." Repairing the breach. Understanding dawned on Alvarez. "The creature attacks because it perceives us as threats to the seal?" "Correct," the voice intoned. "To reseal the rift, the Guardian must be convinced you are allies in this cause, not adversaries." Alvarez exchanged a look with her crew, determination settling on her features. "How can we communicate this to the Guardian? How do we make it understand our intent?" The crystal's glow intensified once more. "We can bridge this understanding for a time. Prepare your vessel." The Alliance-forged preparations began immediately. The Endurance was turned into a temporary command center for this unprecedented diplomatic mission. The crew, trained for exploration and combat, now found themselves envoys on behalf of all humanity, tasked with negotiating with a being of immense power and incomprehensible motive. With the Sentinel's guidance, they established a communication link with the Guardian. Alvarez herself initiated the contact, her voice echoing through a specially prepared chamber where the frequencies could reach the Guardian. Guardian of the Rift, we are not your enemies. We seek to preserve the balance, to mend what has been broken. Let us aid you, she broadcasted into the void. Minutes passed, stretching into what felt like an eternity of silence. Then a new vibration filled the air, a resonance that was felt more than heard. The Guardian appeared on their monitors, its form less menacing now, its demeanor one of cautious assessment. Your words carry weight, it finally responded. Actions will speak louder. Show your commitment. Steps toward unity. Alvarez nodded, understanding the task ahead. We will, she promised. Under her command, Endurance began the delicate process of assisting the Guardian. They employed their technology, enhanced by Sentinel insights, to start sealing the minor breaches that had sprung up around the original rift. Working together, humans and the Guardian, under the watch. With each breach sealed, the fabric of space began to knit itself together, the once tumultuous energies calming under the combined efforts of the Endurance crew and the Guardian. Captain Alvarez watched the progress with a mix of awe and relief, the screens showing the rifts shrinking, the chaotic energies dissipating into the void. The last of the breaches is stabilizing, reported Dr. Lang, his voice a mix of exhaustion and excitement. The readings are returning to normal. Well, what we assume to be normal for this region of space. Commander Joe, always vigilant, kept her eyes on the live feeds from their external cameras. The Guardian seems to be less aggressive. It's almost as if it's acknowledging our efforts. Indeed, the Guardian, once a menacing figure of unfathomable power, now moved with a purpose that was palpable, its actions synchronized with the Endurance operations. It was a dance of cosmic proportions, a ballet set against the backdrop of the infinite universe. The Sentinel's revelation. As the immediate crisis waned, the Sentinel's voice once again permeated the ship. You have shown great resolve and wisdom beyond your years as a spacefaring race, it said. Your actions have spoken. The Guardian will rest, its purpose fulfilled as the rifts are sealed. Alvarez stood at the forefront, facing the holographic display where the Sentinel's presence was strongest. What happens now? With the Guardian at rest and the rift sealed, what is our role in this broader cosmos? You have proven yourselves capable of more than you know, the Sentinel replied. There is much to be shared between our kinds. The knowledge and histories of countless civilizations are at your doorstep. Dr. Lang stepped forward, curiosity overtaking his fatigue. We are ready to learn, to understand more about the entities and the universe that you guard. How can we continue this exchange? The crystal you have aboard will serve as a conduit, explained the Sentinel. Through it, we can communicate, share wisdom, and perhaps, in time, you can join the community of civilizations that have embraced the responsibilities of the cosmos. Bridging civilizations. The implications of such an offer were staggering. To be part of a community that spanned the galaxy, to learn from civilizations that had possibly existed since the dawn of time. It was the ultimate goal of any species that reached for the stars. We accept this honor, Alvarez declared, the weight of her words felt by everyone present. We look forward to a future where we can contribute to and benefit from this cosmic community. Preparations began to make the Endurance a permanent link between humanity and the cosmic sentinels. The crystal was moved to a newly designed chamber that would serve as an interstellar communication hub. Scientists, diplomats, and scholars prepared to use this new resource to expand human understanding and influence. A new era. In the following weeks, the ship buzzed with activity. Human scientists and Sentinel emissaries exchanged information through the crystal. Plans were drawn up for future missions, not just of exploration, but of collaboration, of building and supporting the infrastructure of the cosmos. As Alvarez observed her crew and the emissaries work together, she felt a profound sense of accomplishment. Humanity was no longer just visitors in space. They were becoming integral members of a community that spanned the stars. The Endurance returned to its exploratory mission, but now it was not just a ship traversing the unknown. It was a beacon of humanity's potential, a testament to the power of cooperation and understanding across unimaginable divides. In the vast, star-filled expanse, Endurance sailed onward, a symbol of humanity's unyielding spirit and newfound place among the stars, ready to face whatever challenges or wonders lay ahead. The integration of the Endurance into the cosmic community progressed at an exhilarating pace. Every day brought new knowledge and deeper understanding. The ship, once a lone explorer of the dark reaches, now thrived as a nexus of interstellar communication and collaboration. Captain Alvarez often walked through the corridors, observing her crew engaging with the holographic interfaces that connected them to distant worlds, absorbing knowledge that humanity had once only dreamed of. The cultural and scientific exchanges were profound. Human engineers worked alongside alien technologists to enhance the ship's capabilities, while human philosophers and alien thinkers debated concepts of reality and existence, each learning from the vastly different perspectives the other offered. The Guardian's Last Watch. One evening, as the stars shone with the clarity only the void of space could provide, the Guardian reappeared. It communicated directly with Captain Alvarez, its form less intimidating now, more ethereal and integrated with the cosmic energies it had once solely contained. "You have embraced your role in the cosmos with grace," the Guardian conveyed, its voice a harmonic resonance felt rather than heard. "But there is one last task we must undertake together." Alvarez nodded, prepared for whatever challenge might come next. "We are ready. The rift, though sealed, must be fortified. A beacon must be established not only to prevent future breaches, but to serve as a guidepost for all who navigate these cosmic routes," the Guardian explained. Constructing the beacon. With the Guardian's guidance and the combined efforts of several civilizations, construction began on the cosmic beacon. Situated at the edge of the formerly unstable rift, it was designed not only as a deterrent, but as a monument to cooperation and peace. The Endurance contributed its advanced technology to the project, while alien allies provided materials and energy sources unknown to Earth. As the beacon took shape, an intricate lattice of glowing energy and unbreakable alloys, it stood as a testament to what could be achieved when diverse beings worked towards a common goal. Alvarez often stood watching the construction, her heart full of hope for the future. The New Dawn. With the completion of the beacon, a ceremony was held to commemorate what many saw as the beginning of a new era in cosmic exploration and diplomacy. Leaders of various species gathered, each sharing their hopes and commitments to peace and mutual development. Alvarez was asked to speak, and as she looked out over the assembly, a mosaic of forms and intellects, she felt a profound connection to the universe and its many inhabitants. "We stand together at the dawn of a new era," she began, her voice carrying across the gathering. "Here, at this beacon, we declare our intent not to conquer but to collaborate. We choose to explore not in fear but in wonder." Legacy of the Endurance. In the years that followed, the Endurance continued its missions, but now it did so as part of a larger fleet, a collective of ships from many worlds, exploring the farthest reaches of space. The stories of their adventures and discoveries were not just of alien landscapes and unknown stars, but of friendships formed, challenges overcome, and horizons endlessly expanded. Captain Alvarez eventually retired from her command, leaving the Endurance in capable hands. Her legacy, and that of her crew, lived on in the thriving interstellar community they had helped forge. The cosmic beacon shone brightly, a symbol of unity and a reminder of the day humanity stepped